Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, I'd like you all to close your eyes for a moment. Have a little bit of silence here. I'd like you to picture a concert hall. It's dark, there's no noise, and then the conductor raises his hands, and a deep, melodious chord comes rushing from the music, and the brass is roaring, and the woodwinds are playing trills and notes and frantic music. And then it calms down into a smooth, beautiful, lush melody with rich, sonorous tones. Then I'd like you to travel to the ocean, where the sun is setting right on the horizon, and you can see the bright colors reflecting on the water, and you can hear the waves rushing in. And then I'd like you to travel to your own living room. Picture yourself sitting in front of the fire as the rain patters on your roof and the fire crackles. You have a good classic book in your hands, one of your favorite books. You can all open your eyes now. This is some of the things that really, truly inspire me. And I'm sure most of you can relate to these. But there are other things that I feel inspired by that aren't quite as relatable. Some things that maybe would even be considered a little bit odd. Some of my favorite things are running, playing music, and being a nonconformist. I started off running actually just this last year when a mentor of mine, who has been giving me advice on getting into military academies, which is one of my goals, told me that it would be a great idea to do some sort of sport, and he recommended that I join the cross-country team. Now at the time, I'd never run before. And I remember having run the 1 mile back in 5th grade and running it in, 10 minutes and 50 seconds, which now seems like an inconceivably long time for 1 mile. But it seemed almost impossible to even contemplate the idea of running a race that was 3 miles long. But I managed it, and on my first day, I actually managed to run 5 miles. And now I'm addicted. And when we were told to take 2 weeks off, I felt like I was going to withdrawal, like there was some sort of drug that I was suffering from, and I would start to shake sometimes, and it was an awful experience. And then we started running again, and now I feel fine. But this is one of the things that has come to define me. Another thing is music. I am currently in I was in 4 different music classes. I took a music theory class. I am in the concert band at Park City High School, the jazz band at Park City High School, as well as the choir at Park City High School. All 3 of the performing groups there made it to the state level of performance in their individual divisions. And I was very proud to be in each of those groups, and it's been a huge adventure for me to be able to travel from playing trumpet in 5th grade, and now I'm playing tuba in the wind ensemble. The third thing that defines me is nonconformity. Nonconformity is something that is truly difficult to grasp for some people, but for me it's always come somewhat naturally. I was the kid in 7th grade that walked into the school wearing a pair of old blue, white, and orange striped shorts made out of bed sheets that my uncle had created in the early 80s. And a pair of moon boots, also from the early 80s, with bright rainbow stripes up the sides. And an inconsequential t-shirt. But I can say that there was no one in the school at that point that didn't notice my colorful and unusual attire. This has been a feature of my career throughout school. I also was the one kid who was wearing overalls all the way up until 6th grade. I had a lot of comments about how odd that was, but I didn't mind, because I thought they were comfortable, and that was all that mattered. Nonconformity is something that even when it's not in clothes, just allows me to gain inspiration and feel like I'm truly doing something that's important to me. It's also a very important feature that I received from my father, who's been an inspiration for me for many years. All of these things are features of my life that I feel make me who I am. And as my mother told her English students to write off their first essay at the beginning of their 7th grade year, I am what I am, and no one is going to change that.